She's a personal and family life coach with a background in guidance and also counseling. With over 15 years of experience, she has cultivated a very deep understanding of household dynamics working across diverse sectors such as families, nonprofit schools, churches, and also as a coach and coaching organizations. You are welcome, Amaka. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
After last week, we had to have a continuation of what was the subject, which was building relationships with children, parents, between parents and children.
Yeah.
And this week we're talking about same relationship, but getting that mutual likeness.
Yes.
To like your kid and to get them to like you back.
Yes.
I've got so many questions. But do tell us why this is absolutely necessary.
Did you ever have a teacher in secondary school that you did not like, so you did not
Mr. Okeke, yes.
Okay. So that's the idea.
Yes, even the director's going through trauma now because we went to the same secondary school.
Oh, beautiful. How did you do on his subject?
Whew. Ironically, I did well. I shouldn't have, but I did well because I loved biology.
You loved
However,
biology.
he also took us in math, and I was woeful at
You
math.
were full in math. So it was your liking for the subject that saved
actually,
it,
yeah, saved
not the teacher. So the thing about it is, because of our context, we feel like we can control our children, right? You can use your finances to control them. You can use your bullying to control them, or your money. You can bribe them with it. But the truth is, nobody can control another human being. And so
Not even the kids.
they are human beings. At worst or at best, whichever way you want to look at it, they will behave in a certain way because it's expected of them. They'll behave in a certain way because you are there. But is that really what parenting is about? Do you want to invest your time, your resources, your money, everything into teaching these children values and giving them vision and helping them to become the best people they can be? And then once they're out of the house, they're like, do you know what? What I want to do is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Do you see? But if we actually want to build values, if we actually want to raise our children to be human beings that are kind, that are decent, that have sense, you know, that are going somewhere in life, and every other thing that you have in what you want, like charisma, communication, character, anything you're looking for, then you have to realize that you're thinking influence. Because parenting is a long-term journey, it's a marathon. And so if I'm thinking influence, I'm thinking, yes, it's nice, well, she's under my roof, but when she's 25 and making certain decisions, who is she going to come to talk to? What is she going to remember? What values are going to stay in her head? Is she going to be pretending in front of me? Do you see? And I feel like those are the important things that we should think. So think influence, don't think control. And to influence anybody, the person has to like you to an extent, right? And I think for parenting, it's also really dicey because you have to make a lot of decisions your children will not like. You have to set up a lot of boundaries your children will not like. You have to have standards that your children will not necessarily agree with, especially if friends, neighbors, you know, get away with things they don't get to get away with. So it is in your best interest to make sure that even though you might have to be firm, you might have to be strict on some matters, that at least it is with somebody that they enjoy being around, it's somebody that they admire, it's somebody that they actually like. So it just makes your journey as a parent much. Your home is not full of strife, it's not full of tension, it's not daddy's coming home, mommy's coming home, everybody's running, everybody's pretending.
That was mostly our lives in the 80s. Like, oh, you hear the car coming from down the street and you're out.
Parents will hear stories of their children and they'll be shocked because they didn't know those children, they didn't know they were capable
So
of
noting
those
that we went through that, what's the effect, the long-term effect on children as they get older when they grow up in fear of parents?
There are different effects, and they go from really gentle, and then sometimes they're really hazardous even on the physical health of a child, right? I would say that on a basic level, you're thinking of the fact that your child is pretending you don't know your child. You're thinking of the fact that you might not have access to your child. In this generation, they are doing low contact, no contact. And it seems like it's not a big deal, but nobody wants to be 70 and your child doesn't want to be around you, you don't want your grandchildren around you, or doesn't want their children around you. You're also thinking of the fact that if parenting for you is important, like you want to raise the investments, you want to be able to have return on your investment, and I'm talking about you're building a legacy, you're building a generation. You want to be able to think that, okay, I am building something. I didn't just waste my resources and my time for 25 years, for whatever the many of the years. Plus, if your child doesn't like you, there's a sense of personal failure as you grow older. You know,
Sense of passing?
personal failure, as you grow older. For the parent. It causes, with the children will have issues, right, with that, because they're going to have to go to therapy, they're going to have to get over whatever trauma happened. For a child not to like you, it's going to be very traumatic to them. But I'm even saying for the parents, right, it's going to be hard.
I wanted to, while we're on that subject, Michelle Obama once said that when asked about her daughter, she says, no, I'm not there to be their friends, I'm there to be their mother. They're two different things. So how do you tread that fine line of not absolutely being your kids' friends just so that you're able to discipline them with having them like you in a way that is wholesome for both, for that dynamic parent and child?
I love this question. So
I know, thank you.
I don't have to be your friend to be friendly with you, okay? We don't necessarily, it's going to be traumatic for a child if I'm telling you everything I'm going through, the struggles I'm having in my marriage, what's going on in my finances. Some of us grew up like that in our generation where everything our parents passed through, we took it. So we now have this collective trauma, and people are having issues in their spine and migraines and all of that because they're carrying trauma of generations. Their grandmother will tell them, their mother will tell them, their auntie will tell them, and they've been telling them since they were 8. And so people are really, really sick because of things like that. That's a different issue.
Wow.
So, but I will say that even if we are not friends in the sense of a friendship, we can be friendly, right? I can be firm. I can have boundaries, but at the same time, I can be fun. We can enjoy being together. We can have conversations. I can put the focus on you. I can ask you to forgive me, right? And I can forgive you too. You know, those are the kind of things that we learn. A beautiful hack for parents wanting to navigate this is an old time-tested book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right? It's beautiful, just applied. I know we apply it to general parts of our life, but apply it to your parenting as well. Forgive. Let them learn to put the focus on you. Also put the focus on them when it's not all about, do you know how much I've spent on your school fees? Do you know how many sacrifices I've made for you? Do you see? A lot of children love their parents, especially my generation, right? I have, and I know quite a number of 30-somethings, 40-somethings who love their parents, honor them, want to take care of them, but cannot speak to them, don't want to spend time around them, cannot talk to them. Do you see? And that is if you are favored, that your children you would even have that.
So real quick, and my final question, we're running out of time, but I have to ask this. Now, so for parents and kids now, how do you as a what effects does carrying the burdens of your parents have on your relationships later in life? If I went through everything my mother went through, maybe fights with my father and all of that, how does that affect me in my relationships after?
You tend to, just to make it very simple and brief, you probably see things from your mom's eyes. So you know how if you have PTSD for somebody else's trauma, not even for your own. So getting to a relationship, you're already careful, you're already paranoid, right, as an example. Even friendships, your mother had issues with friendships, it's going to affect you. We generally already have negativity bias as human beings, but your subconscious is already working against you because you are looking at things with their mind frame as if you experienced it. The thing about our imaginations is that they don't know if we actually experienced something or we are watching it in a movie, right? So that's why, for instance, with the football match, everybody was having... you are not on the field, or you're watching a movie, it's not happening to you, but you're thinking about it. Or even if you, let's say you go somewhere or imagine early in the morning you're having your bath, a scenario comes to your mind, right? Or you're imagining having a fight with somebody, your heart is beating, your hand is shaking, you know, all those kind of things. Now imagine it on a 12-year-old. And the person is growing up with accumulated stress. So it affects the health, it affects physical health, it affects mental health, it affects spiritual health as well, because it affects purpose and it affects vision, it affects your soul, goal setting, and it's a lot.
So all in all, what we need to do is be careful how we relate to our kids in order not to make them fall over the edge when it comes to being in fear of us, but yet be able to have them as our friends, or rather mutual friendliness, friendliness between, so that we can have that measure of influence, positive influence on them.
Can I give you a quick quote just to follow?
Yeah, quick quote, yes.
There is a saying that says, rules without relationship leads to rebellion, resentment, and rejection. So think of it as if you've ever fetched water from a well that is dry, you're fetching sediment, you're fetching sand, you have to wait for the water to settle, right? But if it's the rainy season and the well is full, everybody's just fetching. And so in your interactions with your children, think, am I fetching from a dry well or from a full well? If the well is full, if the well is dry, just make sure that you are tailoring your interactions to fill up the well, because you have to fetch from it, you have to correct, you have to discipline, you have to give boundaries, but so that while you are doing it, it doesn't crash your relationship with your children.
Amaka, thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you for
such a
having
brilliant
me.
person.
Thank you.
And of course, I'm hoping that everybody out there takes sample from everything that we've said here today. Make sure that those kids grow up wholesome. Please try all you can. They are our future after all. And with that, let's find out what we're going to be giving the kids for breakfast this morning. Winfrey is inside of the kitchen. Winfrey, please, I heard something that we might be having something with plenty of cream in it. I'm not too sure. Do let us know.
You definitely did hear correct. Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. This is a beautiful, tantalizing Tuesday, and Chef Tina is here. Yay! Chef Tina, good morning. How are you doing today? Okay, so what's that creamy thing that Mazino was talking about? So what are we making?
When I came in, he asked me, what are we making? I said, egusi soup and egg.
Okay.
We're having creamy coconut soup.
Creamy coconut soup. And what are we having that with?
Oh, it's a one plate.
Oh, it's a one-plate dish.
yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. So just creamy coconut soup. Nothing else. All right, amazing. So now tell me, how exactly are we making this creamy coconut soup? What exactly do we need, first of all?
Okay, our chicken,
Yes.
our coconut oil first.
Okay.
Our coconut oil. Then we're going to add our onions.
Okay. Shaftina is not even waiting for us. She's going straight into the cooking process, which is good. I like. Yeah?
So this chicken is actually live chicken.
Okay.
So I just want to saute it.
Okay.
I'm frying it.
Okay, did you marinate it prior?
Yes.
Okay.
I just use salt and seasoning cube.
Okay.
That's all I used.
all. All
Because when you're making coconut, you don't need to
Use so much
spice.
spice.
Yes.
All
So it
right.
will not take that taste of coconut off.
Away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have my coconut milk, spring onions, corn flour. I have my salt, seasoning cube, corn flour, chili pepper. Then I have cinnamon, coconut oil. Then this is
Coconut flakes.
coconut flakes.
All right.
Then I have my Irish potatoes
All right.
already on the heat.
Okay.
So what we're just going to do basically is want to saute this very well. Want it to be tender.
Okay.
So when you do the main dish, it will not take time. So our chicken is on the heat right now.
Yeah.
So you just pan fry this, let's say 2-3 minutes. It's okay.
2-3 minutes and it's good. So in the pots there, we have our Irish potatoes,
Irish
right?
potatoes,
and
yeah.
it's boiled.
It's boiled already.
All right, it's already boiled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it boiled. So I'm just going to take it and bring it out so I can use my pot.
Oh, you're going to put it there.
Okay.
All right. And then in that pot, every other thing goes
Every other
in.
thing goes
All right,
in.
what will we be starting with?
We're just starting with the coconut oil
With the coconut oil. From the
So,
frying chicken?
from the frying chicken.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take this aside. So we'll do the next.
Smells so good already. Okay, so now we actually need to take a break. So Chef Tina, we'll be coming back to you in just a bit. Thank you so much for staying with us. Quick break. We'll be right back.